When the good father says, mind your words, son, you know it's time to look at LOYG.
LOYG.
This is what's to go look at LOYG. And Ben's decided to turn up. Hi, Ben.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for having me back.
Well, it was touch and go there. And Dave, hello, mate.
Hey, guys. Happy Origin Eve.
Origin week. Dave and I talked a bit about what we thought of the Origin sides last week. Ben, do you have any sharp takes on the selections made by either side?
No, nothing sharp, but I do want to say watching one particular player that I had in my team, which was Mark Nwakanitawaze, to be that type of player where within a 90-second period he's like first picked and then you probably wouldn't put him in reserve grade. I'm not a Roosters fan. I don't really love watching the Roosters, but I tell you what, I cannot take my eyes off that bloke when he's on the field. He's bums on seats.
And he's more diamonds than rocks. Like any fan base would be happy to have him in their colours.
Absolutely. First season NRL, absolutely killing it. The question was, what do you think of the State of Origin sides that were selected?
Well, I had picked him at wing, right?
Yeah, not
so
your, the ones that were picked, not your side.
Okay, fair enough. I'm excited to see how the New South Wales side moulds together, and I'm very, very scared of this Queensland side.
Is it Tino specifically, or
yeah, go into depth?
Well, I think getting to play at home first, and they're just going to be psycho, right? And I think their spine. I think Ponga's probably a little bit.
Ponga,
might have a little bit of a rocket up his ass in how well the Knights played without him. On the weekend, so might be able to prove a few people wrong. I think Munster gets up for these sorts of games, but yeah, I mean, I think their forward pack needs to dominate quite heavily for them to be a real shot. But yeah, I mean, you can't count them out, even though I really do want to count them out, and I'd love to beat them by 50. But I think they've got a side that can trouble the New South Wales side.
Yeah, so for anyone listening who doesn't know, we're all New South Wales dudes, very tried and true. Ben fears Queensland. Dave?
It's funny, I look at the blue side and I'm so confident because how good is that side? We're going to win by so many. And then you go, Queensland. And I'm scared because it's in Queensland.
Well, I'm going to grab your fears and elevate it even further to say that I actually am tipping Queensland. And I don't want to say that, but there are a few things.
Fate.
So it's at Suncorp. That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, injury concerns potentially for New South Wales.
Yeah.
Payne Haas hasn't really trained all week. Stephen Crichton hasn't trained all week properly. It's been wet in New South Wales.
Correct. Can I just, on that Stephen Crichton point, how do we feel about old mate coming in? Campbell Graham.
Campbell Graham.
Yeah.
Not excited.
Yeah, I don't want that. Like, if you want that to be a response to the person that's replacing one of the best players in the league at the moment.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well,
do you think that they skip Burton straight in front of him if he's ruled out? Because that's who they're reportedly
I don't think
in.
Has Burton been playing that amazing?
Well, he hasn't played centre since he won the grand final at Penrith.
That's right.
How many years ago was that?
Campbell Graham is solid.
Yeah, he's very.
And his he'll be there
defensively.
Defense.
Yeah, they're not going to lose much defensively.
Yeah. So, and what are your other options? Tommy.
Well, the other centre in the squad is Dewey.
He wasn't in the squad. He was a tackling back, breathing tackling
Human
back,
tackling back.
If only Kailiro was a New South Welshman.
The other options are Turbo, he's shot. Bradman Best is injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're both out this week.
Yeah, I don't know who else is next. Dylan Lucas, maybe. But, yeah, so I'll keep going through my reasons why not only am I scared, but I'm tipping him. It's rained a lot in New South Wales. Have they been able to do all the training they want to do properly this week, New South Wales?
No.
And I'm just going to say, let's look at the spines. So, New South Wales spine.
You want to start at 1 or 9?
Yeah, well, either way. Both the 1 or 9 hasn't been in best form this year.
Yep, agreed.
Nathan Cleary hasn't been in the best form this year.
Yep.
Moses has only just had his foot reattached.
He's looked good, but he's on one
Moses
leg.
has probably looked the best out of that.
The 4 of them.
The four.
Yeah. But
on the flip side, Harry Grant hasn't looked great. Ponga hasn't looked great.
No.
Cherry's
odd.
But I trust them in Origin.
Yeah.
Maybe more than the New South Wales spine who hasn't been playing.
It's called the Gagai effect. You pull on the maroon jersey, you get 10 times better than you are at Clubland.
Yeah.
Yep.
If Haas is underdone, that means that our pack is not really as scary as...
Like we're missing a terror.
Well, Liam Martin's pretty scary.
Yeah. I watched game 2 again today, and Liam Martin is... I think he has that effect, the Gagai effect, but with the Blues jersey. He goes up a level for Blues. He's a maniac. I don't know how he does it for the 80 minutes.
Do you feel slightly conspiracy-wise that New South Wales is doing a Queensland to Queensland with these injuries in quotation marks?
No, because the Crichton one got leaked by a spy in the grandstand.
Oh, yes, right.
But my biggest fear for the Blues is that halves pairings take time. Queensland's that halves pairing has played many times before, and we're effectively running 2 halfbacks for the Blues.
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell. They're both very good, but do they work well together?
So here's the thing I would... Sorry, Ben, I know you got something to say. Before we move too far from the point, we're talking about comparing spines and form and saying that Queensland's form maybe not that much better. What I would say is I think some of their form has been club-related on the Queensland side. In that, Ponga is not happy at the Knights. That's clear. So his form is kind of motivationally attached to the club. DCE, ditto, I would say. Him and Manly obviously don't see eye to eye. And I think his form's probably attached to how people are feeling about him at the club. Like being around his teammates is probably not a happy environment for him. So being somewhere new in a winning, happy environment, I think that'll do more for his form than perhaps Cleary, Edwards, Robson.
Maybe. Well, maybe those guys will have the same feeling as me for the Blues, which is I haven't been so pumped for Origin since I can't remember. I'm so excited. And I thought about it today, and I think it's because my club team's going shit.
Now you know how we feel.
There's a great reason. Now, I'm in a quandary. Now, first of all, just let me make a point about the halves for New South Wales. And the kicking game that we have has the potential to be match-winning.
Yeah.
But are we actually going to get into position, like without Haas up front, do we have like a real, like I don't know if Mitch Barnett is, well, he's not paying Haas, that's for sure.
No, but you're making your own point, which is that because we've got Mitch Moses in the halves, if we have a shit set where Payne Haas doesn't get that extra 20 metres in that set, we've got a big boot to clear. And accuracy as well from both of them, but particularly Moses.
It'll be interesting to see who plays what side.
Yeah, but that's the other point in my list of why I think Queensland might win is one of them's going to have to go to their non-favoured side, Moses and Cleary.
Yeah.
Now, my next question to both of you is Origin related, but it is a little tangential. And my question is, should I go and celebrate a friend's birthday this evening where they are actually showing the Origin? So we're going to do both of those things at the same time.
Right.
Should I go and celebrate a friend's birthday and watch Origin to only have to leave at halftime and then come home and watch the second half?
Why do you have to leave at halftime?
Well, we'll have the kids with us. It's a school night, and
yeah, there's two of you. Why do you have to leave at halftime?
Great question. That's a really good question. I don't know.
You got to rethink this.
I'll have to ask my wife. I don't know.
Is your friend going to be okay with you saying, "Can I have that seat so I can face the screen, please?"
Yeah.
Mate, the screen's enormous.
Is your friend going to be okay with you saying, shut up for 40, 50, 60 minutes?
Or is everyone... Well, they know, like, this is... The reason they chose this particular place was because they show the Origin on a big screen.
Right.
And so it only just happens to be his birthday due to circumstance rather than actual...
Yeah, look, plenty of people go and celebrate on days that aren't their birthday. What's wrong with fucking Thursday?
Flare ups to you.
Well, come on.
I think I agree.
I mean, you're making concessions. Oh, we'll be somewhere where there's a screen. Make a bigger concession. Go on another night.
Yeah. Stay at home and watch Origin. That's what I'm hearing. I've got a big ass TV and I've got a great sound system.
Yeah.
And I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah. Diarrhea. Just say it, diarrhea. It works.
We've got Origin diarrhea.
No one's going to check.
Very nervous.
No.
Very nervous about Queensland.
Yeah.
I have this weird feeling that the game's going to be really tight and Ruben Cotter is going to score the match winner at the end.
Interesting.
Like,
all right.
It's 12-14. Blues are up 12-14. They took the penalty goal instead of going for the try, and then it goes up the other end of the field, and Ruben Cotter dives over.
Taking the penalty goal instead of going. I'm so very upset about that premonition.
It sounds very Queensland, though, doesn't it?
We're going to do a look at LOYG little bet. Not we're condoning betting, but we're just all coming up with an anytime try scorer and see if we can find consensus on a result. So it's a 4-leg. All right?
Right.
Okay.
Now, I think Queensland. It sounds like Dave is dreaming Queensland.
No, I'm going for Queensland. I'm going for the Blues. I think the Blues are going to win handsomely, but I've got this weird feeling.
So is that 2 votes for Queensland 1-12?
Yeah.
Ben?
What's the start?
You want to go a line, do you?
Well, I just wanted to see what the line was. I was thinking Queensland 1-12, but I would also like to, I love to hedge. I love a hedge because New South Wales could still win.
Yeah, and that would be great.
And the Ruben Cotter try gets disallowed. And
so line's 3.5.
That's
it's
nothing.
Really not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Queensland 1-12.
Oh, you don't say it if you don't feel it.
I don't want it.
Well, no, I definitely don't want it.
No, I'm not saying we want it. It's what we feel is going to happen.
Yeah, I think Queensland are going to win. I think Queensland are going to win. It's going to be tight, and that whole penalty goal instead of going for the try thing is, all right. That makes me feel sick.
Well, at least you won't still be at the restaurant at that point.
First leg, Queensland 1-12. All right. Now, Dave, are you going to stick with Cotter as an ATS?
Well, that's what I would pick.
All right. Cotter ATS. I'm going to say that. Go on.
Who's goal kicking for the Blues? Do we know? Is it Moses? Hang on, Lomax kicks for the Eels.
It'll be Lomax, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, it'll be Lomax.
Yeah. I think Lomax is probably...
No, it has to be Cleary, surely.
All
right, let's not talk about that because we don't know.
Okay, so...
Moving on.
Queensland 1 to 12. Cotter ATS. I'm going to say Val ATS. Just to get a safer one in there. Ben.
Laddie Mitts.
You got Laddie Mitts ATS.
I'm all about that, yep.
All right. Now, as of Tuesday evening, I'm just going to see what that's worth.
I've got a feeling about Moses too.
Ooh. Backing up on the inside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like off a Liam Martin offload. Oh, who knows what side they're playing on?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say a To'o break, but maybe he's on the other side of the field. Who knows? You'd think that they'd put Cleary and To'o on one side and Lomax and Moses on the other.
Okay, that gives us 91.50 on Sportsbet.
Wow. Okay,
it's
101.
Is it because of Cotter?
Cotter's 8.50 for an ATS. But, Queensland 1 to 12 is 3.20 as well, so... Yeah. If you think we know anything, have a little nibble at that, but we probably recommend you don't.
Strongly recommend you don't.
Probably. I'll definitely have a couple of bucks on it.
But I am, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on Origin before we move on?
No, I'm definitely looking forward to it though. Like this is great times.
Do we really think Kerry Evans can turn his awful form around just because he's in a new environment? Yeah, okay.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure he made a very fucking messy bed at the start of the season. And he's probably happy to go away on a work trip in a hotel clean bed that's not messed up by him.
Yeah.
And
it's the same for Ponga, isn't it? It's the same.
Well, yeah,
New
but he didn't mess the bed.
opportunity.
But Ponga's certainly, we know how he feels about the bed.
True.
Eye rolling at your coach and all.
There was a mattress that he found on the side of the road.
Yeah. And his coach,
So many stains.
AOB's been trying to tell him, it's all right, there's a few springs missing, but you should use it. It's good. Don't worry about it. Can I say that it's been a little, I think, disappointing how flat the build-up to State of Origin's been because everyone's talking LOYG Galvin and Phil Gould.
You're not wrong. It's stolen all the headlines.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you feel about it, though, guys? Are you... First,
Galvin...
Two questions.
Yep.
How do you feel about the whole thing, the vibe of the whole thing? And secondly, do you think Galvin's actually... going to the Dogs is actually a good idea right now?
For who?
That's what I wanted to touch on. Can I just answer
for
that?
Galvin,
Hang on, let him say which side he's talking about.
No, the Dogs.
For them, right, okay. Go, Ben.
I think it's an absolute dog's breakfast for the Dogs, if I may.
Yeah.
Because they are currently sitting atop of the ladder, have an exceptional culture going on that they've built over these last couple of years.
Yep.
They've brought in a guy to replace one of the guys. Sexton's been basically he's the one that's going to get dogged for it.
Well, he doesn't play halfback though. They're not bringing in a halfback.
I think
they don't have another halfback. Makes no sense to me.
They're just going to play. They're going to do the blues style and just play all 5/8.
Well, here's what I suggest, and but I don't think you can do it mid-season. I think you need a pre-season if you're going to start moving people around.
I bet Gus was working on manager Moses to try and hold it out to November for me. And he can't because they've wrecked everything the way that they've managed it. So it has to be now.
Yeah.
Now or never type situation. So,
but I'll get to where I think he should play, but I think on Galvin's side and Isaac Moses' side, the easy option would have been to go to Eels. There's a spot there waiting for you. They would probably offer you a bit more money than the Dogs, and you could become you could lock down that spot for the next decade and play at least the next 3 or 4 years next to an elite halfback. Where would that take your career? I think that could easily have been done, and that was an easy option for him. Instead, he's gone for the other option where, okay, like he's close with an assistant coach, and obviously he's joining a team that's got better premiership prospects, but it's fitting into the culture. And you were talking about culture before. The person that's led that culture is Critter.
Yeah.
Who's Critter tight with? Luai, Appy, all the Penrith boys over at the Tigers, who he's no doubt had chats with about LOYG Galvin, for sure, right?
Do you think there's a little element of, same as what the Roosters did, where they messed their little premiership window recently? It's the management can do things that other clubs can't. So they just go, oh, shiny thing, quick, grab it.
I think there's so much shiny thing going on at the moment. Galvin thing's a shiny thing. DCE to Roosters is a shiny thing. That's so stupid if that happens.
Yeah.
DCE, they don't need him.
No.
They got Sam Walker, who's the most exciting halfback in the competition.
And both of the halves that are playing while Sam Walker's out are going great. They've got the experienced player with Teddy. They don't need the experience. They've got experienced players there.
Look what they
Savala.
Look what they did to the Sharks on the weekend.
Oh, can we not? Look, I'm more than happy to. Like Savala, I'm so impressed with him. I think his kicking game is superb.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so all right.
The other question: what position does Galvin play?
So
at the Dogs.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
They're already talking about pushing people out. Sexton's been pushed out. Reid Marnie's getting pushed out.
Yeah.
So they want Hayward at 9.
Yep.
That's fine. I understand that. Even if Sexton leaves, and we've already said he's been hard done by, even if he leaves, that doesn't solve the problems because...
creates new ones. They don't have a halfback.
Mitchell Woods is the up-and-coming, is 19. He's coming through the ranks. We've all been hearing how he's the most amazing halfback, and they're just waiting for the time to be right. If LOYG Galvin's halfback, that keeps him down how long? Years?
But he's
going to go.
Halfback.
Okay, so if they go, all right, Mitchell Woods, come in, LOYG Galvin's moves to 5/8. Yeah. Then you've got, what do we do with Burton? And you go, it's easy to say, oh, all right, we'll move him to the centres. He's getting 5/8 money right now.
Yeah.
You think he's going to want to move to the centres and his next contract get centre money? I don't think so.
No.
So even if he likes playing the centres, he could
have stayed at Penrith if he wanted to play in the centres.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's in a position now where he's getting higher, potential earning playing in the halves. So he's not going to want to move.
The problem is they've bought LOYG Galvin, who is the most similar player to Matt Burton in the comp. They bought the same guy. They've already got him. So how do they?
I don't agree.
How do they
with
play
that.
the same? How do they play the same position?
I don't think Burton's anywhere near as creative as Galvin.
Okay. Well, in that mindset, then you would put Galvin at 7 if you think he's more creative.
Yeah, you would. But what I'm saying is, whatever they do, someone's going to be someone apart. As well as Marnie and Sexton is going to be pissed off and leave. And you talk about where they're at now because of what they've built in the culture. That's just bringing it all down, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Critter to fullback would be good, I think. Like Connor Tracy's been good, but Connor Tracy's also like an amazing utility. I reckon he'd be a great 14.
Yep.
Critter's not a fullback. He's amazing, but he's not a fullback.
No, but Critter, think about Critter at the back. Like, he'll
be able to manage the team better.
Manage the team from the back, be vocal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, then what do you do in the centres? Try and move Burton there. He's not going to want to go, like I said, so...
And another quick lens on this is that, as a Panthers fan, I got to see this all happen. How many years ago at Penrith, when Gus was running the show there? It's exactly the same as what happened then. He'd be bringing people in, sign someone on a 5-year deal, After 2 years, they'd be pushed out. It's exactly the same. When this run of Penrith's good fortune started, was the year after Gus left. And we got some stability. Might be a coincidence, but everything kept changing. It's like we're building, but we're starting again. We're building, but we're starting again.
I can't remember where I heard it today, but I think that someone had a good take on that, in that Gus is great for developing clubs, but once a club gets to a certain point, you've got to get rid of him.
He's going to get
Otherwise, he's going to start meddling.
Developing.
Otherwise, he's going to keep developing something that's already developed and fuck it up. Yes. Anyway. Well, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I just want something to happen so we can stop talking about it. Let's have a break. Okay, the first game of the round was Dolphins and Dogs, 44-8. That's Dolphins v very much a reserve grade Doggies. This is buy-round footy, so there's not a lot to say. Like, we can't be too analytical. It was an NRL team versus a reserve grade team, and the score reflected that.
Buy-round footy where every underdog gets up.
Yeah, it was. Was it everyone?
I think every TAB favourite lost.
Yeah.
Wow. I still, I spoke to a friend of mine on the Thursday, and he said, I think I'm going to pick the Dogs and I think I'm going to pick the Panthers. And I was just like, hang on a second. Now, they were the two games that I got right, because every other game I got wrong. Right. But you're right. Like, it was a reserve. There were two full reserve grade sides playing.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Just about this weekend.
I'm really not surprised, because in years, like, this is the tightest comp we've had in a long time. So sometime in years gone by, those resi teams could maybe still match it with the lower teams.
Mm-hmm.
But next game, Para 30, Eagles 10 is an example of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it wasn't even, Eagles didn't have that many out.
Well,
I just think
no more than the Eels did.
I think
the Eels were missing Moses and Zach Lomax too.
Yeah, exactly. I just think the Eagles are spiralling.
Yeah. Well, with a pack with Olakawatu in it, and not one of their forwards apart from Bullimore actually aimed up.
Yeah, Olakawatu didn't fire a shot all night.
Well,
awful.
Surprising, really. You'd think that you'd want to show why you should have been picked for Origin, but okay.
Absolutely.
Knights 20.
Sorry. Before we go to that, can I just touch on? Can I say Iongi again? That guy's unreal. Sorry, Dave. He's very, very good.
Yeah, so happy for Eels.
Knights 25, Panthers 6. Again, nothing to take from that.
Well, Fletcher Sharp's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, but he got moved to a position that they're not going to keep him in after saying that they're happy with their halves. He was at 6. They're happy with their halves. First opportunity to move at fullback, they move him to fullback. But he's not going to stay there. What's the fucking point? Oh.
What it does do, it lets every other team know that if they need a fullback, Fletcher Sharp's going away to the Knights.
Yeah. It's sounding less and less arrogant each week for me to think I could coach better than AOB. Every week, that sounds less arrogant.
Imagine how good it's going to be when Stu gets signed by the Knights in round 17.
Yeah. We're going
I'll only be 10 rounds late.
We're going straight to Topper Stadium to play out there, where the Mariners used to play. Roosters 42, Sharks 16.
Gosford. What about Gosford Stadium?
Gosford.
Is this
the Roosters?
Yeah.
Like, why are they not playing out of there every week?
Is this?
I suppose they only get 8 people to the ground, but they win.
Okay, give me a word or two about the Sharks. Complacent? Is that one of them?
Yeah, attitude was the word I was going to say. For both teams, that attitude was the difference between the two teams.
Stark. It was stark how different the attitudes were.
The Sharks got up against Melbourne And I think they thought they were the fucking shit and that they would just wander through the Roosters.
Through half a Roosters team. Yeah.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
See, this Roosters team was decimated as much as those other two you mentioned earlier, Ben.
Yeah.
And
But
wow.
Even if the Sharks went into it with that attitude, when they realised that they weren't going to do it, why couldn't they turn it around?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, and it wasn't gone at half time. Like, they could have fought back if they had have had the fortitude to do so.
Yes.
They just didn't.
But I thought our back five really struggled to make the meters that we have been making. Mulatalo, Hiroti wasn't great. Kennedy was, fine, but not against that side. They were tackling their dates off.
Yeah. And Hiroti didn't come in for those big, carries that he'd done in his previous appearances.
I think he's still injured.
Not at all. Yeah,
I think they rushed him back.
You think?
I reckon
that makes sense.
But, I mean, let's not just whinge about the Sharks. The Roosters continue to defy expectations. Yeah. They were just brilliant, and that's all there is to it. Warriors go down to Raiders by 6 points in Auckland. Did you guys watch it?
I did, and I thought 20 minutes into it, I thought, this actually is a top-of-the-table clash.
Absolutely.
This is crazy. Like, at the start of the year, we did not pick either of those teams to be top four, but they were both such high quality. The opposite of what the Sharks brought to the table, I guess. They brought the best game, and it was a really, really good battle.
Great theatre, too. Like, Tarpany doing the crybaby and gestures.
I love that.
To Chance.
Starling trying to high jump over bloody old mate's head.
I wish Barnett and Fisher Harris had been there, because those forward packs would have...
Yeah.
The last 10 minutes was just amazing to watch. And so we come on to the next round where it will be affected by people backing up from Origin. Just a word or two, fellas, I think, on your thoughts on Dragons v Knights at Jubilee Stadium. That's at Kogarah.
Dave, do you want to go first here?
I'll tip the Dragons, but I don't know why. I don't know either of these teams anymore.
I'm going to tip Dragons because the Knights are not good, and I don't think beating...
That's false form, beating reserve grade Penrith?
It's not... There's nothing to take from beating that Penrith side.
Especially when they lost the second half 6-1?
Yeah.
6-1.
And guess what? If Ponga backs up, they'll be all shuffling positions again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll take... Look,
Dragons.
I
Confidently Dragons.
And I reckon Dragons... by a bit.
And Tuipulotu to score a try on his return.
Yeah, Christian Tuipulotu.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm going to take Dragons minus 14.5. How about that?
Ooh.
Sorry, don't mind me.
Just going to make some notes so we can actually check ourselves next week.
Oh, I started last week and then just stopped. I don't think I was quite here last week, to be quite honest with you. Okay. Drag what?
Minus 14.5.
Minus 14.5. All right. There we go. And, Titans v Melbourne. That's at Seabar Super Stadium on the Gold Coast.
Will Stu do it?
Yeah.
He will.
I will.
I think there's a very good chance all those Storm stars get rested.
Yes. And if they don't, it's a 2.5 day backup time. This is 3:00 on Saturday. I'm going
still
Gold.
picking the Storm.
You still, you probably should. But I'd have Foz is on the bench. I mean, that's
The Titans are getting 11.5 points start.
Take that. I'll take that though.
You going to take that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll take the Tighties. I'll take the Titties with 11.5 points start.
All right. Are you having a slice of that, Dave?
Yes, please.
All right. Tits with the start. Okay. ×2. Cowboys and Tigers at Townsville.
Oh.
This is going to be...
Lockie Galvin has been named as an out for the Tigers.
He's very much an out.
I don't know why that tickled me so much.
Also, like, there's rumours about Talon De Silva leaving. He's on extended. He's not even in the 17.
Because Happy
means.
extended. Happy extended and he's not happy. One's happy and one's not happy.
But is Happy going to play 80 minutes then?
Well, no. So I don't know why. I think Talon thinks he's an 80-minute man or a number one option at hooker, and he's...
No, I mean this week with no Talon in.
Yeah.
But who's going to give Happy a rest? I don't think anyone can. Anyway, tips, please.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. And I'm going to take the Cowboys. And I'll also take the overs for the points.
Really?
So over 44 and a half.
I've got Tigers and unders.
Dave's Tigers and unders.
Okay.
It's the drink water or bust show for the Cowboys, I think.
Well, I'm going to go draw just to make sure I'm right in the middle of you fellas.
Nice. Oh my God, the totals. You know what the totals are?
Go on.
49 and a half is the line.
Yeah, no.
South and Wars.
Oh,
That's at Acor. Souths and Wars.
yeah, Wars by 1 to 10.
Wars by 1 to 10. You're just making any old thing up now. 1 to 10.
Yeah. I'll just make up 1 to 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Dave?
That's a tight line.
I'm going to go the Warriors by 13 plus.
13 plus. Yeah, they got no State of Origin outs, do they?
Just Barnett.
Oh, just Barnett. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go Wars. Or, no, I'm going to go South.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't
The
mind.
Titans and the Bunnies.
I didn't mind the pack. I didn't mind the Hubners.
Kaloa Matangi at prop.
Yeah.
Revelation.
So
it's like
Arrow-
Terrell May stuff.
Arrow and Kaloa Matangi starting props. I don't mind because then they got, here's the bench, Kepi, Totola and Moali.
what would be their starting props on the bench? Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway.
We missed the Sea Eagles and Broncos too on Saturday night.
I have. Sorry about that.
And we are plus minus Travojevic.
No Tom?
No Tom. So minus Tom plus
Ben. Ben's back here.
So we're evens. Well, actually, no, we're still -1 Travojevic.
So it's really a choice of who's in the biggest spiral between the Eagles and the Broncos at the moment.
Eagles are in a much bigger spiral
Yes,
and they're missing
I
their
agree.
pack.
So I'll be going Broncos.
I'm going to go Broncos 20 plus for me, please.
20 plus, bloody
Dave.
Nora.
Yeah.
I will just take the Broncos minus 3.5. That is the current start.
And
What happens if they both are in a spiral in the same game? They just start running around the field.
I've seen that before. A few years ago, Penrith went to Darwin to play the Eels. Both teams were in a spiral. It was like 4-0 after 70 minutes. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Both teams trying to lose.
Yeah.
oh, I thought you meant in Darwin a literal spiral because that's cyclone area. Isn't it?
Cyclone territory.
Speaking of which, Panthers host the Eels at Combank on Sunday Arvo. It's...
Panthers are $1.64 to Eels
why?
$2.26.
Why?
I don't know. I'm going to
Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm going to say Eels. Thanks, fellas. Please,
Yeah, Eels.
Eels.
Panthers are missing still half their forward pack. Like
Yeah, true.
and they're
Right,
banking on
Eels,
all
yeah.
the Blues guys backing up.
Yeah, five. However many? 5.
5.
Yeah.
5 of them.
Yeah.
Roosters and Raiders. Ooh,
Jeez, that's going to be a cracking game.
that's at
So,
Allianz. And I'll tell you,
Tightest odds of the round. $1.97,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So there you go. I've got to tip Raiders though. I
Do we know if Tapani is out?
Ooh.
With the suspension?
I think he is, actually. But you know what that's countered by, Dave?
What's that?
The fact that Horsburgh didn't get picked for State of Origin.
And Starling will be out too.
No, yeah, Starling's out, Tarpany's in. So Owen Paddy's starting, Danny Levi on the bench.
Starling has been really good for him, though.
Yeah. I'm still going Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
Can we talk about the 6:15 Sunday night game?
Did you give me a tip before you go on a rant?
Yeah, fair enough. I think they got too many players backing up. I'll take the Raiders as well.
Thank you, sir.
Just straight up.
Now, rant away.
6:15 on a Sunday night is too late to be playing a game of rugby league in Sydney.
In Sydney specifically.
It's a lot better than Monday night, what we used to have.
It is a lot better than Monday night. Just play, get the Warriors to play at midday, then play a 2 o'clock game, then play a 4 o'clock game. That is a better slate. And then
Just have the 2 games on a Sunday.
Afternoon. Yeah, just have 2 games on a Sunday. That's the 6:15 game is... Because I want to watch as much league as I can over the weekend.
Oh, it's because of Origin. There's no Thursday game.
There's no Thursday game.
One Friday game.
But also, that's... your chances of them stopping that are slim given there's more teams coming in. So they've got to pack more games into each week. But I think they did say maybe they'll relook at Monday Night League, which I don't know about that.
No, Thursday night. 1 game Thursday night, 2 games Friday night.
3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday.
3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And just have a midday game on the Sunday.
We're all waiting for the footy on Sunday anyway, so it's started earlier.
I don't know about midday games in March.
All right. Have 2 on a Thursday then.
All right. Let's argue about this offline because we've gone quite long.
We have.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, guys. Go the Blues.
Go the Blues, but
please go the Blues.
Please. But also, I'm scared. This is an Angry Chimp podcast.